y'all ready for some poetry? Let me hear you say, "Go in, poet!"
Go in, poet! Well. Y'all know the story of the Greensboro Four, right?
Yeah.
All right. This is based on that story.
Some people said no. Could you tell it quickly?
Yes, 4 college students. I mean, it'll kind of be told to the poem. 4 college students from North Carolina A&T in 1960 walked into the Woolworth store during the times of Jim Crow segregation and sat down at the lunch counter and refused to leave. And this is the story of that sit-in. February 1st, 1960. Greensboro. A reminder that change doesn't start in the ivory tower. Doesn't require superpowers or even a strong lobby in Washington, just a brave quartet knowing that the potential was tuned to infinity from the beginning, knowing that there are some things that we just can't stand for. So the arms and legs bent like music notes into sitting position like 4 freedom songs, folding themselves into paper cranes perched like pigeons on lunch counter stools. The cigarettes branding their skin couldn't stop the symphony, only transform their plumage into the flaming feathers of phoenixes trapped in the Confederate furnace that fuels hell's fire. Their wings licking limbo's heels, praying purgatory would fall like Achilles, because heaven is just another word for the freedom they were made to think was beyond their reach, somewhere off in the clouds, but they learned to fly without ever leaving the ground, and how beautiful. That something as simple as sitting down was their mark on history, the spark that birthed a black inferno hot enough to purify the sins of segregation, and it makes me wonder if and when anyone noticed something special about them early on. I wonder if those Greensboro 4 sat a little differently during story time on kindergarten carpets, and it makes me think, makes me know that there must be signs of our potential, glimpses of our greatness from childhood, like how I imagine Louis Armstrong must have buttoned up his shirt in grade school with fingers that would one day tiptoe across tectonic trumpet plates, making our eardrums quake with music. I bet Cupid was just a little more affectionate than usual. Picasso probably finger painted his first murals in baby food. Maybe Buddha was just a little spacey as a kid. Nowadays, we probably label him ADHD and stick him off in a corner by himself. Y'all, we are all meant for something. Are born wearing our destinies before diapers ever wrap us in innocence, but we have to start believing in our children. There was a meadow of miracles blooming beneath our branches. We just have to know where to look. Stop scanning the skies for unicorns and see the army of paper cranes before us. And remember that the earth is beneath our feet. So the sky starts at our ankles. We have always known how to fly. On foggy days, we even find ourselves in the clouds sometimes. We are so busy waiting for the next Malcolm or Martin that we forget the revolutionaries look like the student that sits in the back of the classroom staring out the window, like the woman that rides the bus every day in the seat beside us, like 4 college boys in Greensboro with a taste for hamburgers, milkshakes, and doing anything that people told them they couldn't, proving that wisdom is not always in the words that we speak, but in the way that we dance to our life songs. Genius is making the simplest of things powerful, and hope is a patch of dandelions sitting in a field of sunflowers. As 4 college kids sitting in a field of burning crosses and lynched lullabies, our babies can't fall asleep to bricks crashing through windows or whips flashing through skin tones, but they may never wake up either if we don't remind them that their dreams can follow them back from slumber, that a freedom song can fold itself into a paper crane, and no matter what they sit for, we will always stand behind them. Thank you.
Right now, we about to bring up George, one of
You got this. You got this.
Can you say, "Go in, poet"?
Go!
And if you'll notice, a couple people are snapping. You know, as they say in spoken word poetry, poetry is not like golf. You don't have to wait till the end of the poem to. You know, if you hear something you like, snap your fingers.
Snap it.
Give us a little energy. You know what I'm saying?
Feed off of your energy.
George.
Give them some energy.
George. So
let's
hear it again. Go in, poet.
My name is George, everybody. I wrote this poem about a couple weeks ago. I call it Russian Roulette. It was the year 1984. The best day of my life, because I have found somebody that will hold me close to their heart as if I was found in protection. But sadly, all of that changed when I began to be used for death, quenched in the palms of my assassin, slowly pulling back my chamber, click, clack, bow. My small metal projectile body is quickly unleashed from within its confined home between the chamber. Eyed upon my next victim, I'm instantly inserted into my predator's prey like a vicious snake embedded fangs within a human tissue. I feel the intense sharpness of my steel pierce the warm skin of my victim's lifeless body, placed deeply in the veins, mutilates the vessels, and crushes the lungs as he falls heavily into the compacted semen. Staying upon my own barrel. Bow. Bow. Not finished with his work, he settles me to finish his mission. Blood oozing through my victim's corpse, flames plastered across the walls of the deserted alley. He holsters me back upon his hip, feeling as if my world had ended. I'm suddenly unlocked from his hip, gazed up upon another heart, held up at eye point. He begins to pull back my trigger, but I jam. Body tightly pressed together, he tries to relieve me to settle his reaction, but I tell him no. No more will I be used to satisfy your needs, but I keep an innocent child from me and taking up face in the graveyard where all my brothers and sisters laid them. Ashamed of the blood that pumps the heart that brings about death, I cry sometimes to myself because my body sends no heads up to loved ones. Only postcards and body bags to funeral homes. So that kid, he throws me away and runs away. It reminds me as quickly as I can take a life, I can save a life.
I say.
So that kid that I saved picks me up and holds me in his hand and tells me thank you. And a feeling of sensation flushes through my body as if I had just given a newborn life. So that kid cleans me, wipes me off, and packs me into his highest closet in his shelf and calls me his gun of life. And leaves me there to watch life's pathways until that day that my life was reborn. Thanks.
It took a bit long to remember that part.
Alright. So Kobe, yes. Yes. Okay, great. So Kobe, we're still working on memorizing a piece. He's a really dope poet. If you want to check Jacoby out, he'll be performing with us at Motorco in Durham on January 28th. I'll leave the information at Parks and Rec. We have 3 other students, 3 sisters, Jacia, Anna, that tried to come out, couldn't make it out today. And they're all students upstairs. Upstairs is a high school called DPLC, the Durham Performance and Learning Center. So if you want to learn more about the program, check us out. I can close with a real quick piece about Kwanzaa. Y'all ready to hear one more?
Yeah. Go in.
All right. Oh, yeah. Y'all want to hear another one from George? Yeah. Let's hear from George. Why don't you close us off? You can close us off. All right. So real quick. Kwanzaa, there are 7 principles in Kwanzaa. So this song kind of breaks down the different principles in a rap. So what you've heard so far is kind of poetry-based. Rap is a little more syncopated, so you might hear it, and it requires some call and response. So I'll get to that in a minute. Right. Unity is for you and me. You see, it comes together beautifully. Love is the only way for you to be. Umoja for all of my soldiers, and I'm a believer in Kujichagulia. That means self-determination for all the nation. We've been so patient for education and medication. And we don't forget about them reparations. Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Your community needs your ability, because your utility is their fertility. You can go into ministry or the dentistry, and you don't need to sip Hennessy and hip. Go to Tennessee, get a degree from Fisk. Come back to communities and raise black fists, and tell all of your brothers and sisters about this. Umoja. Ujima. Kujichagulia. Ujama. Kuumba. Imani. Nia. Kuumba. Creative energy is within me. Since I was an infant, I've been blessed infinitely. I told you my inspiration is plenty, and creativity is part of my identity. And Imani, faith in God, friends, and mommy. Props, brother and sister, faith in everybody. And you can call me whenever you need me. My whole family, yo, please believe me. Ujama, cooperative economics. Sort of like Kwanzaa got me hooked on phonics. Mixed with hip-hop, y'all got no idea. Listen to my purpose, you can know my Nia. My purpose is to make something of worth. It's to reach deep below the surface. So I take words to new meaning, sort of like a thesaurus. Got me speaking Swahili, sort of like in the chorus. Umoja,
Umoja,
Ujima,
Ujima,
Kujichagulia,
Kujichagulia,
Ujama,
Ujama,
Kuumba,
Kaumba,
Imani,
Imani,
Nia,
Nia.
The black candle. The black candle. So we're going to get George to close it off for us, then I want everybody to move back into the auditorium so we can see some more dancers perform, right? All right, so George, shut it down for us. Go in, poet!
Go in, poet!
I call this woman's worth. I did say woman's worth.
All right.
All right.
Woman.
He said, I bet you.
She tells me that love hates her, pain excites her, and men treat her as if she's nothing more than a tissue being used to wipe the undue crap off of the behinds. She tells me that every man reminds her of the last one, passed right by the best one, and she moves on to the next one, but I tell her no. But not every man is the same. And some men come out to beat you, mistreat you, or have sex with you. And some men come to restore, to gain back their independence, to take back the role as that perfect gentleman. Because see, you don't have to beat her, mistreat her, or just claim her to show you're a man. All you have to do is love her, care for her, and caress her body as if she's stolen your last breath of air. See, real man don't beat his woman to show he's a man. Real men beat men who beat women to show they're a man. Real men don't have to spit game to win a woman's heart. A real man spills his heart.
Yeah.
So I ask you, why does a woman have to lay on her back to receive a man's blessings and fail to realize that what lies between her thighs is not a prize? To win a man's heart, not by sex, but by being his best. And if a man won't accept that, then in fact that man isn't a man to begin with. I tell you ladies, never be beat up, be second up, or give up to any man at any time, at anywhere. And being a virgin does not mean you are lame, whack, or scared. It means your body is a prized possession. God's gift instilled upon the vessel womb to look at a female as being more than just an opposite sex, but a gift. A gift produced by the God Almighty Himself. And a woman. Woo! A woman. It came from a man's rib. Not from his feet to be trampled on, not from his head to be superior, but under his arms to be protected, in his mind to always be remembered, and in his heart to be loved. So ladies, I tell you to stand up, to keep your head up straight. Thank God that you've seen another day today. Thank you.
All right, can we get everybody to move back inside? Let's give another round of applause to our poet. Thank you.